Definitely safe to say. Now we need to focus on the teams that are yet to play their second series of the day, Beyond the Game in KT. We saw the men of Beyond the Game here getting introduced to you once more. And on paper, at the beginning of the season, I would have been like, yeah, Beyond the Game is going to take that easy peasy, no problem here whatsoever. But then came this phase of 2018, and then came the slouch, the slump that Beyond the Game is currently finding themselves in. And these guys, you know, they can always take at least one map off of you if you don't show your A-game, especially with the ruthless shot calling by Timeless. If it works out, they're looking like the strongest team in the region. If it doesn't, well, they go down with a big bang for the enemy team.
I mean, the problem is, you said a team that's in a slump. I don't think any team's in a bigger slump than KT right now.
Yeah.
BTG, they have been struggling, but KT, they're on a slide that someone has decided to put cooking oil on.
Don't try this at home, kids. It's not fun. It's going to be very painful.
I mean, it's very fun until you reach the bottom.
Yeah.
Then it's very problematic.
Unless the slide is just maybe 30 centimeters, 1 meter high, then maybe you can give it a shot. But
even then,
be careful. Be careful.
It's definitely going to hurt your knees when you land.
All right, 3.2 the KDA for KT, 6.1 for Beyond the Game. So the numbers still favor Beyond the Game, and we are marching on to Towers of Doom, and I'm loving it. The first game on TOD today. Looking at the remaining maps here, could be Sky Temple or Volskaya or Curse Hollow or BOE. Quite a number of cool maps available still.
Indeed. No Braxis, though. We had like 3 games where Braxis was available today, and no one went to pick it.
So sad.
I mean, I hope we get some in, because it's probably going to be the map that ends up being replaced for Alterac if Alterac comes into pro play next year.
Yes. Although the most recent changes applied to Braxis are pretty awesome, in my opinion. Making the 0% Zerg wave much stronger, changing the way beacons work now. You can basically contest it as long as you stand on them. It's much more balanced.
Next patch, perhaps, which is next week. So next week, maybe we'll see some more Braxis. And if not, then who knows? Where has a new map been introduced every single year, Mr. Kendrick?
At BlizzCon.
And at Gamescom.
And at Gamescom. There we go.
Gamescom has revealed every single year has revealed a map. The first year was the Battlefield of Eternity, and Infernal Shrines. Second year was Warhead Junction and Braxis.
That's correct.
Last year was the Hanamura. Was the most recent one, I believe.
Yeah, Hanamura had its own event, so it was not.
So what was Gamescom then?
Gamescom last year was Kel'Thuzad. Right? That was the big event with Kel'Thuzad and all his minions.
Oh, and there was no map there.
Yeah, there was no map this time.
Curses foiled. My theory is squashed.
I mean, everybody was going crazy about a potential Naxxramas map, you know, with KT being shown and
that would have been
stuff like
dope.
that.
Yeah,
hey, we got Alterac.
Not sure how you
pretty
do that,
easy.
though. I mean, the theme's pretty easy to do, but I'm not sure how you do it thematically wise, because Naxxramas is really focused on levels.
Yeah, true. All right, man. I personally can't wait to see Alterac, though, in a professional environment, because Alterac 2 did receive some changes to the gameplay and the mechanics and the objectives, right? It's now a lot less snowbally. It feels much more forgiving if you don't manage to get the cavalry immediately. So, feels good, man. Just also feels good, man, to see Hape on that Genji. Oh my goodness.
Finally gets it. Been denied him repeatedly, but this time he's able to bring it out. See if it works for him. Maybe this is the key. But for now, BTG, they've already got their solid solo laner. And with Decade stolen away from them, though, this is a healer they've been relying on. It's going to be up to Druid. And on this map, wouldn't mind seeing the Naxxramas. This is something he's leaned on quite a fair amount. It's worked for him quite well.
That is correct. But they go for the real Druid after all, which is still pretty solid.
So if there was any map that you would like to bring in from any Blizzard game, what would you like?
Honestly, I just want Blizzard World from Overwatch. Because you get a little bit of something, right?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. That's fair. I mean, mine would probably be... I can't remember the name of the planet, but the Tal'Darim planet from Legacy of the Void, where Alarak has a cool laser duel, because you've got a pretty good built-in objective there. cool laser duel.
That
and if not,
is
Zelnaga
true.
Temple with the same concept with Kerrigan versus Amon, I think his name was?
Who was he dueling against? Was it Kerrigan?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And as such, it was left to Stukov, I think, to command the army at that point to defeat the hybrids.
Man, now I just want to go play StarCraft 2 campaigns again.
Same, right?
Oh, man.
What time am I going to find to do that?
Maybe in between your Open Division and China casts, you know, you've got 30 minutes.
Like 20, 40 minutes I have there. As we see Johara banned out as well as Maev. Maev being kind of flying under the radar so far in these series.
That is actually true.
But this time makes it into the bans.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Maev was touched many, many times in the past, right? Her damage was tweaked. Her tankiness had been adjusted multiple times. And at this point, I think the hero has reached a level at which she's perfectly viable, yet you can't pick her every single time and get away with it. So I'm really glad you brought this topic up here, Maya. For the first time, we see her involved in a ban or a pick.
It's Narud, apparently, who Kerrigan was dueling against. My mistake.
Okay. I thought she was doing it against the good old High Lord, too.
I understand. If not, then just maybe the Angel Council from Diablo. That seems like a pretty cool thing to do. Let's do Demons versus Angels. Give us hell or heaven. One of the two.
Yeah, I would certainly be down for that and make us get Imperium.
Or just Tristram. Give us Tristram, the town.
Now that would be iconic as hell.
Yeah, just the center of the map. Someone identifies the items you give. And that's
objective. Someone
Black
carries
style,
the leg.
maybe.
Someone carrying the Smith's leg and getting empowered. I like it.
Dig it. I mean, worst leg was an item in Heroes for a little bit. It was I can't remember what a cow level someone suggests. It was one of the artifacts, I think. Like there's artifacts, there was gems and something else. I can't remember what they were all called. One of them was worst leg, and it just increased your mount speed by 20%.
Yeah, the dark age of Heroes of the Storm with artifacts. If you haven't played the alpha, guys, then you probably don't have a single idea what we're talking about. But believe us, it's better this way.
TB did a good video on it if you really want to know. As we do see Jaina and Garrosh coming in here for BTG. So now they have solid engage, very solid frontline. And Abatha coming in for KT. Double Genji. I'm liking it.
This could be a double Genji or a double Malthael, to be honest. Whatever is clever, as a wise Terran philosopher once said. But basically, you want to go on that target that is currently in a better position to reach the enemy team's backline, right? If, for example, a Genji is low health and zoned out completely, you normally don't want to go for that Genji copy. But if Malthael is in the thick of things and, surrounded by enemies, you definitely want to do that right there.
So, with these two compositions, the double Genji is good. Double Malthael less good, because I don't believe percentage damage benefits from ability
Yeah, the
power.
trait doesn't stack. That is correct.
So, yeah, the trait doesn't stack for starters, and the ability power doesn't increase it. So
it goes for the self-healing, though, and the spell damage from the Q.
It does. That's good. So you're kind of, if you're copying Genji, or you're copying the support.
Or the tank, sometimes.
I guess you could copy Muradin.
Yeah.
How have we seen a deck of Kane support? How does that work? Do the potions persist after Abatha copy dies?
That is an interesting question. I don't think I've seen that many Decker Kane copy games, but I would say that the potions run out after the copy expires too. But that is an interesting question. I'm willing to see it here. I would love to see it.
Decker Kane already does a fair amount of poke damage. Just bung him in as well. You could set up a little pentagram in the center with overlaying the triangles. Oh, wait, there'd be a hexagram? Yeah, hexagram, because it's 6.
6 corners, yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. Hooray, we're not summoning Satan today. Or summoning Diablo. He's not even in this game.
Yeah.
He was banned. But on the other side, we see a pretty decent Phoenix composition. Fair amount of slows. Did a little bit, lots of just general hard lockdown to give Phoenix the chance to get that salvo lined up as we head into game number 1. And on the left-hand side, it is going to be Beyond the Game with 619 on Garrosh, LLK on Phoenix, Druid on Malfurion, Dancing on Jaina, and 3 is bringing out the Yrel.
And facing them for the first time today, it is KT. Kudos top with Hope on that Abathur. We have Timeless on the main tank Muradin. TWQ and Deckard. Hikari is playing the Malthael in Hape. He's on the Genji now. I want to invite you guys to pay special attention on Hape's Genji. I'm not sure if he's on fire today, but if he is, and if he's playing on that hero like the last time we saw him on it, you're in for one hell of a treat.
When did on fire, I'm sorry to go off topic here, but when did on fire become a term that meant you were doing really well? Because in general, if someone's playing like they're on fire, I would think it would be very panicked and erratic play. As Timeless dives in looking for Druid. Good dodge by Druid.
Yeah.
But he's still a little bit isolated. Gets the root. He's out of there.
Oh, Timeless. Overstayed his welcome already and becomes first blood. Unfortunate there, unlucky. But actually, you know, it doesn't really matter, you know, whether you say on fire or not today, because kids, the cool kids these days, they say lit, you know. When you're on fire, you're lit.
619 very nearly died to that tower there. Oh, the Abathur hat for the kill didn't work, but good move there. I like it.
All right.
But yeah, it's I mean, lit's good on fleek. What even is a fleek? I've never heard of
a native speaker doesn't even know, because I have no idea.
I only understand. I'm not up to date with the language the cool kids are using. I'm just an old man who casts video games. Such an old person job.
All
the
right.
cool kids playing the games and using their fidget spinners. That's up to date, right? I don't know. As we see BTG taking the Sappers. In response, KT doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's going a little rough here up to this point for KT with Timeless, you know, breaking the rhythm there a little bit. At least they were able to get their own mercenary camp. Hape already turning on the heat here against Phoenix, trying to pressure him a little bit here. Jaina taking a lot of damage, and that is the Hape we know.
Picking up the second kill. His team's first kill of the game, the third kill of the game in total.
Yeah. With
that nice little execution. Timeless looking down 619 as well. Not able to get the full value there.
Fighting for mercenary control here in that lane right now. Looks like the red KT mercenaries are reigning supreme. Speaking of them, they can also be found in the top lane here, but the combined damage of Irel and Phoenix is going to be enough to stop death, at least temporarily.
We actually have a symbiote build Abathur instead of a shield build Abathur. Yeah. That's super interesting. I mean, it can get a huge amount of value on the Muradin. By Malfurion, nice little kill. Can Timeless get out? See, if he had the shield, he'd be regenning right now. But instead, he's just like, oh, never mind, he's going back in. Regen is not the name of the game. Look for 619 and dancing, and Hape will grab one. Timeless will die.
No way.
Oh my god, what? Clutch shield potion coming in from TWT, and Timeless, he lives. 3 kills to 3.
So they got the kills, right? But overall, if you look at the experience, it didn't really give them all too much. They should maintain control over this bottom altar. No, 619 is back in town. The Stormbolt completely whiffs, unfortunately. Hape is not letting go like a pit bull.
They should actually even up in terms of experience, because the majority of the XP they were missing was in mid lane, and it pushed up to the towers. They lost a couple minions, but overall Abathur was able to body soak what was left.
Right.
As we do see Timeless trying to zone 619, gets flipped. Where's the Abathur hat? Non-existent, as he goes down.
Yeah, another death on Muradin, unfortunately, and this looks like it's getting a little out of hand, a little out of control here for KT. Not even Genji can stop this altar from going down. So at least they can use this time now while the enemy team is busy protecting the person who gets the altar. They can at least, you know, continue soaking already in the middle, in the top lane. Malthael hiding currently, because he's expecting to get ganked pretty soon.
So we see the minion wave getting cleaned up pretty quickly. Malthael on a pale horse, staying very far back, not getting himself caught out here.
Yep. Timeless, struggling a little bit. I'm not sure if it was actually, you know, if he actually agreed on that Abathur build, or if they were like, yeah, you just do your own thing, Hope, we trust you anyways. Because I think he plays like there was a shield build online sometimes, right? He expects those heals, it sometimes looks like.
We are seeing the Mule coming in for the Abathur. Very interesting talent on this map. It can get crazy value. It can very much backfire. One of the few maps you can't use it on the core, as we see Malthael getting taken down. Scroll of Sealing value. Hape being forced to back up. Don't even know if he has Swift Strike, so he's not in the best position. He's trying to finish off LOK sneakily, but has the Swift Strike out of there. Scroll of Sealing coming in once again, and that is going to be 1 kill for 0. KT dying to the tackling roots, sorry, not to the Scroll of Sealing. That's on his own team.
If you look at it and how much damage Jaina is able to dish out because she's completely ignored, It's actually insane. That should normally never happen if you have a Malphite and the Genji and an Avatar in that game, but they have to focus on so many targets at the same time. Sometimes they focus on the Phoenix. In that case, Jaina reigns supreme. Sometimes they focus a little bit on the Jaina, but then Phoenix wrecks town. So yeah, it's a really hard composition for Beyond the Game, for KT to play against right now, it seems. With that protection coming in from the Irel, Malfurion completely untouched as well. And this is, it's getting a little out of hand, right? If you look at it, the XP gap is growing and growing. Now there's another duel, another battle going out there in the top lane for that mercenary camp, but there must be a call. Hikari, we're a little too late. The enemies are inbound already. Get out of there. And
PWT is here. One potion is applied. Actually, no, the potion is not applied. The potion was put down, but he was already gone from that location, so the Avatar hat was dropped, and that wasn't enough either. So he did go down.
So they're trading altar shots. 4 for 4, but the mercenaries, they go over to Beyond the Game. That means that we're probably going to see at least 1 tower fall, maybe even 2, because of Abathar's lack of physical presence. Beyond the Game decides to ignore it, though, for the most part. They want to rotate back to the middle. They want to make sure that level 10 is soaked as quickly as humanly possible.
We see the minion waves being soaked, like you said, both teams aiming for that level 10, and it is certainly going to be hit by BTG first, as KT haven't even hit level 9 yet.
Yeah, that's for sure, and there it is, and immediately the confident call into going for that boss. Now, while this is very likely going to work, it doesn't have to if KT fights back well here. The taunt on Murdens really gets flung to the side, left and right, and gets taken out immediately. LLK a little low, though.
Got very low, but he's able to dodge around everything, keep himself safe.
There's a happy snowman now actually taking care as well. I really like the micromanagement by Jaina, constantly checking out the bushes with that. Look at that. It's so cute. You basically make sure that no more shenanigans are coming out from KT. You take the 4 shots uncontestedly as a result, and Beyond the Game is setting full sails, full course onto winning this game on TOD.
Hey, once again, just dancing in and
he's gonna get away.
Not in. Deflect.
Wait
shield. Oh, that was very close. Nice little move to try and get the turnaround. And just like, well, if I'm gonna die, might as well try. As he tries to go for the kill, but Phoenix this time survives.
He shall survive for now. Level 10 is here. We're gonna see the symbiote. The copy, of course. What else? X-Strike. Stay a while and listen. And Malthael is still keeping their enemies in the dark here, at least for now. It could be a last rites against Garrosh. Could also be a Hugo-style Tormented Souls.
Fan this. Holding the line for the moment. Popping the Avatar very early here. Double Muradin incoming. Genji has just arrived as well. Timeless might still die here. Sleep Taunt. Indomitable into the Taunt. That's so good. Purification Salvo comes out, picking off 2 members already. Hikari is desperately trying to get rid of LLK, but he's not having it. Plasma Cutter into the fray. LLK gets out. Genji's in trouble. Does he have to dash? Yes, he does. He will escape. But that was a 3 and a bit, if you include the Avatar copy, for 0 in favor of BTG.
So I'm hesitating to call it a misplay, but I think what Beyond the Game could have done to maximize the value of their shots is to actually take down the bottom. It was 3 members dead for KT. Instead of focusing on the mercenaries here, they maybe could have focused on the bell tower, but then again, there's an Avatar defending it a little bit more, a mule as well to heal it up, so I guess it's fine either way. That 1 core shot is probably not going to be the difference in that game.
See them beginning to push in. They have these sappers. These ones will make it in. There's no stuck over or anything like that to prevent this. So this will be this bell tower going down. Phoenix takes an unnecessary shot. Timeless, though, misses the storm, dodged by LLK beautifully, and Timeless is taunted and destroyed. Think he destroyed Genji. Also beautiful, just in time for the bell tower to die.
Yeah, the mule couldn't save it. Poor little fella. Poor little guy.
Yeah, he just gives up on life. I love that. I love that of the mule. If it's, I don't know why it did that though. It didn't take any damage. Is it just because there were no structures around to heal?
It was just twitching. It tried to pretend to be useful, you know, so the boss wouldn't hammer him down.
But why did that happen?
Like,
why wouldn't this stay around? Because Abathur could hack that.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't understand that programming at all. Who designed this? Who designed this robot? Terran scientists should be ashamed.
It was probably a construction of the Boom Labs.
That's wrong game, but also cool. Cool reply as Timeless dies.
I don't know what KT is doing, guys. I wish I could give you an analysis of what they're actually trying to do here. The X strike actually whiffing off completely as well. LLK goes and lives another day. At this point, KT is just in pure desperation mode. Yeah, they're trying to make a play, but they're trying too hard, right? They're not even getting that far. Timeless at this point is just on a feeding spree. I never thought I would say this word on stream, but he's just not getting anything done. The mercenaries are going to march in now. They get another altar. What can they do? I don't know. Like at this point, it's looking mighty grim for KT.
Yep, we actually have a, I believe, is that the attack speed on the teleport or the reset on the teleport for LLK? It's a very rare talent to see.
Yeah, it is rare indeed. At this point, you might as well just experiment with a couple of builds, you know, because you're like, well, we're probably not going to lose that game anyway, so might as well just test my limits.
As we see Felix just hovering around, Sappers trying to make their way in. 619 trying his own.
It is the 50 armor, into the fray. So, it's the Adamanium Shell, and when he uses his warp, he gets 50 armor because he realized, you know what, I'm getting dove upon him the entire time by the Genji, by an Abathur, so I might as well just become as tanky as humanly or Protoss possible.
I mean, that could be one of his one of the ways he's thinking. The other way could be, well, if I'm going to go ham, might as well go really ham. And that seems to be the case. He aggressively teleports here. The X-Strike's already been used just to keep Hape alive. LLK just dancing around, using that mobile offense as level 1 talent this time. Camp not being capped by BTG because they're focused on killing Timeless. TWT or Hope could just grab this right now, but they're too busy dancing around. Grab the camp! As we see Hikari comes in from finally they get the camp. Here comes the aggressive teleport. They finally get Jada for Hikari. He'll go down to LLK thanks to that mobile offense. And now they can just guide in these mercs.
And now it's lights out, Tetra. I don't think KT can stay in the game here anymore. Look at that. 3 altars. That's the worst case scenario. Still 2 members dead. 23 seconds until Malthael returns. So all there is for Beyond the Game to close this game out at this point would be 2 altars because they even control the bottom bell tower still. If LLK ends up falling though and 8 pulls of a miracle. Okay.
That was just a literally on-spot teleport to just remove himself in case Genji dashed for him. I really like that. That's quite cool. Shots on the core. GG. And game number 1 goes over to Beyond the Game.
And we mentioned this, Tetra, right? There's only one team that is currently struggling more in terms of momentum, in terms of finding a good rhythm than Beyond the Game, and that was KT. And I hate to say this, but this game looked like they had no idea what they were doing.
I'd agree. I would completely agree. I don't know what to say about that. That was not a good game, quite frankly, from KT. BTG, they played solidly, they played safely, they even picked aggressive talents just to punish how aggressive their opponents were being. They adjusted to how bad their opponents were playing to punish them more. That's quite cool, but still, 1-0 to BTG. That's points are nice. Everyone loves
crazy.
Points.
Like it started off with the Abathur build where we were like, okay, symbiote build, old school kind of, right? You don't go for the shields, which were so amazing to keep everybody safe and sound. Especially heroes like Genji or Muradin, they have just such good synergy with that build. And then the hyper aggression didn't even pay off because they frankly weren't able to get any kills under their belt, right? In fact, it was Timeless who looked like Timeless back in the days with RPG, where he was just completely on a different page than everyone else in his team. And he was getting caught, picked apart several times. And if your warrior is doing his own thing, if he's getting picked apart all the time, then how's the rest of the team supposed to find their rhythm, right? When you don't have a frontliner to check the bushes, to lead the rotations, there's just nothing you can do.
So here's the good news for BTG. This is looking like a fairly good 2-0 for them, assuming they can keep that style up for the next game. If they do 2-0 this, they will be 1 point behind CE, which is good news. Because
that's huge.
Every position you are higher means 1 less game you have to play in the playoffs, which means 1 more chance to qualify for the Eastern Clash. But on the other side, on the inverse side, KT, if they go 0-2 here, then there's